God says, the last message from heaven has come for you. Before the person you cannot bear to lose leaves your life forever, the heavens are no longer silent. A divine stillness has come upon the atmosphere, and the air itself feels heavy, not with dread, but with the weight of something sacred, something final. Time is trembling. There is a countdown echoing across the invisible realms, and those with spiritual ears can hear it. Tick, tick, tick. It is not the sound of fear. It is the sound of mercy reaching out one last time. Heaven has spoken. Before the one you love departs, heaven speaks once more. This is not a message that comes casually, and it is not for every ear. No, this is the final call for the one who feels it deeply, the one who has sensed the shift but cannot put it into words, the one who lies awake at night with the ache of something unspoken, a goodbye forming in the silence of someone else's heart. If your spirit has been stirred without knowing why, if you found yourself standing in the hallway of uncertainty, clinging to memories while fearing what's coming next, this word is for you. For the trembling soul who still believes in love, but can feel it slipping through the cracks like water that cannot be held. This is the moment before the door closes. This is the moment when heaven leans in. This is not judgment. This is not rejection. This is rescue. For the pain that's coming was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to awaken you before it arrives. The Holy Spirit now hovers between two heartbeats, yours and the one you fear losing. It is not by accident that you're hearing this. Heaven is interrupting you, because your heart is about to break, and God does not sit silently when the heart of His child trembles. So now be still. Yes, be still. Heaven requires your stillness, not your panic, not your plan, just stillness. For there are words being spoken in the spirit realm, and they can only be heard when your soul quiets itself. The sands are running out. The final grain is about to fall, and before what's unsaid becomes regret, heaven has sent this last message. Type I receive if this message has entered your spirit. Lesson code 414 is now active over your life. In this very hour, not a moment before, not a second too late, the Spirit of the living God whispers your name across eternity. It is not shouted. It is not demanded. It is whispered because heaven is close. The nearness of God is not loud. It is weighty. It is holy. It is heavy with purpose. And right now, that purpose has pierced the veil to reach you. You were not overlooked. You were not forgotten. You are not abandoned. This message finds you because the gates of heaven have opened to deliver it. The angels are no longer waiting. The ink is wet in the scrolls of heaven, and the page has turned. The divine courtroom is in session, and what happens in the next few days will set things into motion that cannot be undone. Heaven is now intervening between endings and heartbreaks. Let that settle into your spirit. For you are not standing on neutral ground. You are standing on the edge of a divine shift, a crossing over from the familiar into the unknown. There is someone you love deeply, someone you would give anything to hold on to, someone whose presence feels like home, and yet lately, it's been feeling like they are already walking away with their eyes still locked on you. And here's where heaven steps in. You see, the Spirit does not wait for disaster. It hovers just before the breaking, to catch, to guide, to warn. And now, the heavenly host leans over your life, not with judgment, but with compassionate urgency. You are not hearing this by mistake. You are not listening by chance. No algorithm, no accident, no coincidence. Heaven has summoned this moment. This word has been dispatched as a divine interruption. For the Holy One cannot, will not, allow you to stumble blindly into heartbreak you were never designed to carry without preparation. Even now, Archangel Michael stands in the unseen. His sword is not drawn in rage, it is drawn in record. For heaven is documenting your tears. Heaven is writing down what you cannot say. Every sob you've swallowed, every prayer you've mumbled half asleep, every ache you could not put into words, it is being written. And the angels are not silent. They are preparing transition. They are positioning release. They are assigning protection. This is the hour before heartbreak, and heaven is not idle. You, beloved, have been marked for divine instruction. Not everyone will understand this. Not everyone can carry it. But if you are the one standing at the edge of goodbye, if your spirit hath been fluttering with fear, if your body shakes without cause, if your dreams have become shadows of what you're afraid to face, then know this. You are the one this word was sent to. You are not crazy. You are not overthinking. You are not being dramatic. You are spiritually aware. You are sensing a shift, and you are being summoned. Do not take this moment lightly. Within the next dawn, something shifts forever. Before the sun rises again, a door will close. A truth will be revealed. A position will change. And it will not be random. It will be righteous. For God does not break what he is not willing to rebuild. But he cannot rebuild on soil that still clings to what he is removing. Let your hands tremble. Let your eyes weep. But let your spirit stand strong. Because this message has found you as a sign that you are not alone in this moment. You are being kept, governed, and watched. This is not coincidence. This is divine strategy. Your heartbreak hath been intercepted by heaven. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is now surrounding you. There is something that your soul has already discerned, even if your mind has not yet accepted it. The Spirit whispers, "Look closer." There is a silence that feels heavier than words, and you have felt it. The distance is not measured in miles but in moments, in the way their eyes no longer hold you the same, in the way their laughter has grown faint, in the way their presence no longer feels like peace. They are still here, but not really. They sit beside you, yet you feel them drifting far beyond reach, pulled by a current you cannot see, into a realm of decisions they have not spoken aloud. Heaven sees the tremor in your chest, the way your body senses the storm before the clouds appear. There is an invisible thread between spirits that love deeply, and that thread has begun to fray. The angels whisper among themselves, for they know what is forming in the unseen. Something has shifted between you and them. It began quietly, almost unnoticed. A thought that went unspoken, a prayer they stopped praying with you, a door that began to close while you were still reaching out to open it. You felt it, didn't you? That faint ache that lingers long after the conversation ends. A tug in your heart that keeps asking, what changed? Heaven knows. Heaven has seen the weight of words they never said. You have sensed their confusion, their wandering, their inward pull away from you. They have been quieter, not out of peace, but out of unrest. Their spirit is unsettled. They smile, but it no longer reaches their soul. They hold you, but not with the same certainty. The air between you is filled with whispers of decisions they are not ready to confess. You know something is forming, not because they told you, but because your spirit can feel it. That is why you cannot sleep. That is why you wake with tears you cannot explain. The Holy Spirit has been stirring you, preparing your heart before the revelation comes. Listen closely. This is not paranoia. This is perception. The divine is tuning your spirit to frequencies you didn't know you could hear. Heaven is protecting you by revealing truth in fragments before it bursts into full sight. For the enemy wanted you blindsided, but heaven will not let you be broken without warning. There is a holy ache moving through your chest. You are feeling what they cannot yet say. They are wrestling with something unseen, a choice, a temptation, a redirection. And though their lips remain sealed, their spirit has already begun to whisper goodbye. The tears you cry are not only for what is gone, but for what is leaving. Heaven echoes everyone. Your heart feels the unraveling before your mind admits it. And that knowing hurts, because deep within, you already sense what's about to be undone. But even in this ache, heaven is present. You are not losing your mind. You are hearing heaven's alarm ringing softly in your heart, calling you to awareness, calling you to strength. For when truth finally stands revealed, you will not crumble. You will already be covered. So breathe. Do not chase for answers from them. The revelation is not theirs to give. It is heaven's to unfold. What you feel is divine preparation, not punishment. The Spirit of God is stirring the waters around your soul because He refuses to let you be taken by surprise. A divine discomfort always precedes divine direction. The unease you feel is the sign of something sacred shifting. The tears you shed are baptizing your spirit for what comes next. You are standing in the quiet before the storm, but this storm will not destroy you. It will reveal you. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if this message has reached your soul. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. Beloved, if this word has stirred something in your spirit, know that it was sent with divine purpose. Every message released here is a seed of light, a bridge between heaven's truth and broken hearts that need to hear it. When you give, you do not give to a channel. You give to the kingdom's voice that reaches souls at the edge of surrender. The word says, "He who sows to the Spirit will reap life everlasting," and even now that promise is alive in you. I hear the Spirit saying, "When you sow into my message, I multiply peace where pain once lived." Your giving becomes oil that keeps the flame burning, that one more lost heart may be restored. If you feel led, you can support this mission through super thanks, membership, or PayPal donation. The link is in the video description below. This is not a request. It is a divine invitation to partner with heaven in rescuing hearts. Those who give will see doors of provision open in ways they did not expect. Sow into the word that just found you, for the harvest belongs to the obedient. Listen closely now, for this is where heaven turns the lens. What you thought was abandonment was protection. What you felt as rejection was redirection. The sorrow you carry has not escaped divine notice. You have wept, wondering why someone you love could become distant, could grow silent, could walk away without warning. You questioned your worth, doubted your prayers, and replayed every moment in search of what you did wrong. But here is what the Spirit of God declares over you now. This is not your fault. This is your formation. There are battles you did not see, conversations in the heavens you were not aware of, and decisions allowed by God not to punish you, but to reposition you. For what they withdrew, God replaced with clarity. What they took with them, heaven returned with peace. You were never meant to carry what was draining your spirit. Their departure was not a personal failure. It was a prophetic shift. It may have felt cruel, the way it unraveled, the way they distanced themselves while pretending nothing changed. But it wasn't cruelty, it was cleansing. Heaven sometimes allows disconnection not to hurt you, but to heal you. Because when someone's presence begins to cloud your purpose, God will intervene. And sometimes, The most painful divine act is letting someone walk away even when your heart begs them to stay. You see, the enemy wanted you to believe this was your undoing. He whispered lies in the night. You're too much, you're not enough, this is what always happens, but heaven has silenced those lies. For what the enemy meant for confusion, God has used for clarity. What was torn was never yours to keep. And what remains is more than enough for where you're going. This is not the end. This is the awakening. Even now, there are angels stationed around your heart. Though you cried, they stood guard. Though you pleaded, they remained silent, because heaven knew, if they stayed, you would have settled. You would have continued to shrink to fit into a version of love that could never sustain your calling. But now, the Spirit of the Lord is pulling you out of that pattern, out of that dependency, out of that emotional captivity. Not because you were unloved, but because you are too deeply loved to be left in bondage. You are chosen. Let me say that again. I chosen. Even this heartbreak is holy. Even this pain carries purpose. God is using what broke you to build you. He is using what confused you to confirm you. And He is using this loss to lift you into alignment. Do not curse the silence. It is sacred. Do not resist the distance. It is divine. You are being escorted out of what drained you and into what will develop you. Heaven knows your heart is tender. Heaven knows you would have given everything to keep them close. But now, your obedience is being tested in the stillness. This is the fire where your identity is purified. You must rise, not in revenge, but in revelation. You must stop asking why they left, and begin asking what heaven is preparing. Because what is ahead requires healed hands, not clinging ones. Clean hands, not closed fists. This is not spiritual punishment, it is spiritual promotion. Your reaction in this hour will determine your elevation, not their decision. You don't need their apology to rise. You don't need their return to be restored. You only need to agree with what heaven has already decided, that you are worthy of peace, of purpose, of love that reflects the Father's heart, not manipulates it. So lift your head. Wipe your tears. Heaven is still writing your story, and the next chapter does not begin with their return. It begins with your release. Type "I am released" in the comments if this truth has shaken something free inside you. Blessing code 818 is surrounding your atmosphere now. The Spirit of the Lord speaks urgently now, not with panic, but with piercing truth. You have entered a divine window where silence becomes strategy, and stillness becomes survival. This is not just another passing season. This is a prophetic hour, a holy countdown. In the next 72 hours, the spiritual ground beneath you will shift. Clarity will come. A veil will lift. And what has remained hidden, what has lived behind silence and vague distance, will finally come into full view. You may not like what you see. You may not be prepared for what you hear. But heaven is. And that is why this message comes, not to predict pain, but to prepare your posture. The one your heart clings to stands at a spiritual crossroads. Their spirit is battling between surrender and separation, between staying and slipping away. You have felt this tension, even when they smiled. You have sensed the hesitation, even when they stayed. Their spirit is divided, and their decision hath been forming silently like a storm behind the clouds. You have been standing in emotional fog, hoping for light, and now, the light is about to break in. But with that light will come truth, and with it truth will come change. Make no mistake, something will shift permanently. A conversation may unfold. A behavior may expose. A boundary may be crossed. A truth long hidden may surface in full, undeniable force. You may not be given time to prepare, but God is preparing you now, because your response will determine your reward. Heaven's warning is not given to those who will remain passive. It is delivered to those whose destiny demands awareness. That is you. You are not meant to be caught in the wreckage. You are meant to stand in the revelation. This will not break you. It will build you, but only if you choose posture over panic. Heaven warns, do not chase. Do not plead. Do not perform. Do not try to prove your value to someone who is already mentally departing. Let them walk if they must. Let them reveal what they've hidden. Let them speak what they've long held inside. You will feel the storm before you see the lightning. You will sense the fracture before the foundation shakes. But remember this: God reveals to heal. God exposes to align. And heaven allows destruction only when something greater is being birthed on the other side. So stand firm. You will be tempted to reach out, to fix, to beg, to explain. But your stillness will speak louder than any pleading ever could. This is the test before your transformation, the fire before your freedom. This is the final turning point before heaven shifts you into your next. And it is urgent, because your destiny cannot afford another delay. You have already waited, already carried, already poured out. Now, the Spirit says, wait no more. What? Stand. Trust. This is where clarity collides with consequence. And you must be ready to receive both. There may be a rupture. There may be tears. But when it happens, do not see it as destruction. See it as deliverance. What comes will reveal the alignment of hearts. It will show whether their connection to you was covenant or convenience. It will make plain what God has already known, and what you were always meant to see. This is your final warning before divine alignment. Do not ignore the signs. Do not silence your discernment. Heaven has sent this message to prepare your soul. And if you listen, you will not just survive this shift, you will soar through it. Type I will stand still in the comments if this message was meant for you. Blessing code 7272 is active over your decisions now. Be still now. Not because you've given up, but because heaven has taken over. In this moment, this sacred, pressing hour, the instruction from the throne is not to chase, not to beg, not to fix, but to withdraw in trust. You are not retreating in weakness. You are advancing in spiritual authority. The flesh says act. The fear says hold tighter. But the Spirit says, stand down and watch what I do on your behalf. The one who sees all things, knows all things, and defends those who cannot defend themselves is now moving for you. And sometimes, the greatest act of spiritual warfare is not fighting with words, but resting in the Word. Heaven is not asking for your performance. Heaven is demanding your posture. Be still. Be still, though the phone remains silent. Be still, though your heart longs for answers. Be still, though the urge to reach out claws at your insides. Because heaven sees what you cannot. Heaven hears what you were never meant to hear. The divine realm is active. Conversations are happening in the Spirit. Truths are unraveling in silence. And angels are already moving to reposition your heart. Not every battle is yours. Not every conflict is won through confrontation. There are moments, like now, when God says, if you speak, you'll interrupt what I'm revealing. If you move, you'll block what I'm removing. So withdraw. Withdraw not in anger, but in reverent trust. Withdraw from the urge to explain yourself. Withdraw from the weight of holding together what heaven is tearing apart. Not everything is an attack. Some things are alignment, and heaven will not allow you to cling to what's no longer carrying your calling. If you stay too loud in this hour, you will miss the quiet instructions of the Spirit. This moment is sacred. Do not let your pain drown out His voice. Let your silence become your sanctuary. Your silence will speak more powerfully than your desperation ever could. Your surrender will echo in the spirit realm louder than any argument. When you stop chasing, heaven starts chasing for you. The angels are not passive observers. They are active participants in your preservation. As you lay down your defense, they raise theirs. As you weep in prayer, they war in realms. What you cannot do, they are already doing. You must understand, this isn't about being silent in sorrow. It's about being still in strength. Stillness is not weakness. It is confidence in the God who knows the end from the beginning. Stillness says, I trust you, God, even when it hurts. I release them into your hands. I release this outcome into your justice. I release my fear into your fire. And in that moment, heaven moves. This is your command posture. Obedience and not reaction. Quiet, not chaos. Trust, not trembling. Speak these words over your spirit. I am covered. I am guided. I am not losing. I am being realigned. Say them until your spirit believes. Say them until your heart lets go. Say them until peace finds its way back to your chest. Let it be known in the spirit. You are not abandoned. You are being hidden. You are not forgotten. You are being refined. God is not removing to punish. He is removing to protect. And He is calling you into partnership, not with the person you're afraid of losing, but with the process that is saving your destiny. The same God who placed the stars into the sky without your help does not need your striving to secure your future. Be still, for He is fighting for you. Type I will be still in the comments if you trust heaven's defense. Blessing code 909 is now surrounding your silence with strength. Let this be the moment where power returns to your posture. Let this be the hour when your identity breaks free from the echo of their absence. Because something has shifted, not just around you but within you. The one who once waited by the phone, checking for signs, hoping for a whisper, aching for validation, that version of you has been laid to rest. And what is rising now is a soul awakened, a soul chosen, a soul no longer defined by who stayed or who left, but by who sent you into this very hour. You are no longer the version of you that begged to be chosen. You have crossed a divine threshold, and though your heart may still ache and your memory may still replay what once was, heaven has begun to pull you out of the shadows. No longer will your worth be attached to another person's consistency. No longer will your peace be held hostage by their attention. No longer will your joy rise and fall based on whether someone else sees your value. Because heaven sees it, and heaven is reclaiming it. Let the pain refine you. Let the ache become the altar where the old you dies and the anointed you arises. Like fire purifying gold, this heartbreak is not destroying you. It is defining you. Heaven is not asking you to forget what happened. Heaven is asking you to see it correctly. The departure was painful, yes, but it was not punishment. It was purification. What left was never meant to anchor your next season. And though it cost you something to let go, it would have cost you everything to hold on. You are becoming. That word alone is enough to silence every lie, every doubt, every whisper of unworthiness. You are becoming. The tears you cried have been watering a garden of strength. The prayers you prayed in secret are forming wings. Your posture is changing. Your voice is steadier. You are not who you were, and thank God for it. Because the old you would have begged, the old you would have chased, the old you would have settled for crumbs and called it connection. But not anymore. Not after this. This heartbreak was your holy interruption. This silence was your sacred turning point. This letting go was the launch pad of your legacy. The Spirit of God did not let this unravel to punish you. He let it unravel to reveal you. And now, the world is about to see what heaven always knew. You were never fragile. You were never ordinary. You were always called, but now you're finally ready. Do not look back. There is nothing behind you that compares to what's ahead. Don't look for closure from someone who couldn't even handle your presence. Don't look for explanations from someone heaven removed. Closure is not owed. Closure is granted by the Spirit when your eyes open to the revelation that this right here was the turning point you didn't know you needed. You are not broken. You are becoming. This is your permission to rise, to walk in the room with your shoulders back, not because you have it all figured out, but because you know who walks with you now. This isn't confidence in self. This is confidence in who sent you. You are no longer begging to be seen. You are becoming the one who sees clearly, and that is dangerous to the enemy. It is powerful in the Spirit. Heaven says, rise. Rise as the healed Gurian. Rise as the discerning one. Rise as the loved one. Rise as the appointed one. Because even now, your next is being drawn to your new identity. You are attracting clarity, alignment, peace, and purpose, not because you forced it, but because you became it. Type I am becoming in the comments if this word released something inside of you. Blessing Code 2020 is now igniting your transformation. Now comes the unveiling, the moment when heaven pulls back the veil, not to show you what left, but to reveal what's been released. Because what you once called heartbreak, heaven has always called unlocking. What you saw as the end of something beautiful was really the beginning of something eternal. This was not about love lost. This was not about the one who left, the one who grew cold, the one who stood silent when they should have fought for you. No, this was always about destiny being unlocked by divine design. The sorrow, the ache, the distance, it was not wasted. It was sacred. It was strategic. You were being shifted, not because of what they did, but because of what heaven planned. And now the truth comes into focus. What you thought was rejection was redirection. What you felt was abandonment was actually alignment. That person wasn't the promise. They were the passage. They weren't the destination. They were the detour. Their presence served its purpose, but their exit with the prophecy fulfilled. Heaven never forgot you. You were not overlooked. While you wept, while you questioned, while you tried to make sense of what fell apart, angels were preparing what would come together. You felt like you were losing everything, but in reality, God was clearing out what had no eternal foundation. He was making room, making space. Because what's about to fill your life cannot fit into the same structure where you once begged to be understood. This is your unlocking. This is the moment your name is being spoken in heavenly realms. This is the moment when the Father turns to the angels and says, now they are ready. Ready for the elevation. Ready for the release. Ready for the love that mirrors heaven, not manipulates emotion. Ready for the purpose that doesn't drain, but fuels. Ready for the divine relationships, the righteous alignments, the anointing that flows without interruption. Heaven delayed nothing. You were not denied. You were developed. You had to walk through that loss to shed the identity that clung too tightly to people. You had to feel the sting of silence to know how deeply God still speaks. You had to be stripped to remember you were already covered. And now the gates of divine fulfillment are beginning to swing open. Do not be surprised when people you've never met carry keys to rooms you've only prayed for. Do not be shocked when doors open effortlessly, when favor finds you in hidden places, when opportunities arrive without you striving. This is what happens when you let go of what heaven never sanctioned. This is what happens when heaven clears the space for something greater. And hear this: the one who left may never understand what they walked away from. They may never see what God was about to do through your life. But you will. And when you do, you'll thank God for the unanswered prayers. You'll praise Him for the doors that closed. You'll lift your hands, not in regret, but in revelation, because now you see it was never about who left. It was always about what was being allowed. So walk with your head lifted. Your identity is no longer tangled in someone else's presence. It is rooted in the one who called you before the foundations of the world. You are not lost. You are launched. You are not broken. You are built. You are not unloved. You are known by the very one who is calling you into your next. Type "I am unlocked" in the comments if this word just shifted your perspective. Blessing code 555 is releasing revelation over your life right now. If this message of unlocking has spoken to your soul, don't let it stop with you. Every seed you sow into this ministry becomes a spiritual key for someone else waiting to be set free. The word says in Isaiah 55:11, "My word will not return void," and your support helps send that living word into hearts on the verge of breakthrough. I hear the Spirit saying, "Those who water others shall themselves be watered." This is your moment to be part of someone else's deliverance. You're not just donating, you're activating rivers of living hope. Through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or a PayPal seed link in the description, you become a carrier of heaven's answer to another weeping soul. As you give, I declare open heavens over your life. Unseen blessings are being released in response to your obedience. Now is your moment. So where the Spirit has spoken, let your generosity echo through eternity. The heavens are no longer quiet. The scroll of your next chapter has already been written in the courts of glory, and now the voice of the Spirit presses upon your soul. Speak. Declare. Move. You have waited. You have endured. You have cried through the night seasons. But now, it is not time to wait. It is time to agree. For heaven cannot move where your mouth remains silent. This is the hour of activation. This is the moment where your destiny demands your participation. You must speak life, not over the past, but over the path ahead. Not over what left you, but over what lies before you. It is time to stop rehearsing what hurt and start releasing what heals. Because your future is not waiting on their return. It is waiting on your release. The power of life and death is still in your tongue, and you cannot step into divine alignment without a declaration that matches heaven's decree. Speak not what you see, but what God has spoken. Even if your voice trembles, let your spirit roar. Say it now. I am moving forward. I am walking into purpose. I am leaving behind what no longer agrees with my assignment. Because the truth is, you were never meant to stay in a place of emotional survival. You were meant to walk in spiritual dominion. And the moment you release your yes, heaven responds. Angels move. Doors shift. The next chapter begins not when someone returns, but when you do. When you return to faith, return to obedience, return to the altar with nothing left but trust. No more what heaven removed. Yes, they were part of the story, but not part of the finish. Yes, they mattered, but not enough to stop what God has placed inside you. If they left, it means they were never the key to your next. They were a sentence, not the whole book. And now the pen is in God's hand, and He's ready to write glory over your life. But you must turn the page. You must let go. You must let God breathe where you use it to bleed. You must let Him rebuild what you thought was ruined. Because heaven is not waiting on circumstances to change. Heaven is waiting on your agreement. Destiny only unlocks when your posture matches your prophecy. And right now, the Holy Spirit is hovering over you, waiting for your command, waiting for your surrender, waiting for your yes. This isn't just about recovery. It's about rebirth. This is the hour where ashes turn into oil, where wounds become wisdom, where what almost killed you becomes the foundation of what builds you. You are not stepping into another version of what was. You are stepping into what's never been before. This chapter is not a repeat. This is resurrection. And all of heaven is watching to see how you respond. Will you declare it? Will you rise in faith and speak what God has whispered? Will you choose alignment over attachment? The heavens are shifting. Your angels are moving. Your ancestors are interceding. The great cloud of witnesses is watching, and God is waiting for your participation. Speak now, beloved. The power is in your voice. Life is in your decree. Heaven responds when you move in obedience. Say it aloud: I am aligned. I am activated. I am available for what God has next. You were not abandoned. You were prepared. You were not overlooked. You were reserved. And now you are being released. Type "I am activated" in the comments if your next chapter has been awakened. Lesson code 333 is now unlocking new doors in your life. There is a realm, unseen, untouched, but deeply involved, where your tears are counted, where your pain is heard louder than your praise, where your surrender speaks more powerfully than your strength. While you cry, heaven is not still. While you sleep, angels do not rest. For in the realm beyond sight, a silent exchange is unfolding. It is sacred. It is strategic. And it is happening right now, on your behalf. You may not feel it. You may not see it. But the Spirit of the living God is shifting pieces in your life that you didn't even know were out of place. Every ache, every unanswered question, every long stare into the ceiling in the midnight hour, they've all been gathered. Every time you whispered, "God, I don't understand," there was a response in heaven's courtroom. Every time your chest tightened with grief, angels were dispatched not just with comfort, but with orders. Yes, orders to begin the rearrangement. Because what was stolen from you, your peace, your clarity, your sense of belonging, is now being returned. Quietly, divinely, completely. This is what the world doesn't see. While others look at your outer stillness, the Spirit is waging inner war for your future. You've been walking through days as if numb, smiling with hollow eyes, keeping yourself together for others while bleeding in silence. And yet, heaven has been recording it all. None of it is wasted. Not a single tear has fallen to the ground without being caught by the hands of eternity. Even now, as you listen, there is activity above you. Your spirit has felt the tremors, that unexplainable restlessness, that odd mix of grief and peace, that sudden awareness that something is coming but you don't know what. It is because your spirit knows. Your spirit senses the shifting. This is the moment where transition becomes tangible, where you are no longer just surviving, but being reassigned. Because heaven is not merely comforting you, heaven is trading what was lost for what is greater. You are being upgraded. You are being redefined. You are being positioned. And it's all happening in silence. What you thought was God ignoring you with God insulating you. What you perceived as delay was actually divine dialogue, conversations between the Father and His angels, orchestrating what eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. Your name has been on the lips of intercession. The angels have been negotiating peace for your soul. And even your ancestors, those whose faith lit the fires before you, are watching and praying, for the baton of legacy is being placed in your hands. You are not waiting on an answer. You are walking through an exchange. Every place where love left you, heaven is depositing discernment. Every space where confusion lingered, God is sowing clarity. Every moment you felt abandoned, a deeper authority was being imparted. And soon, very soon, what's been happening in silence will be made visible in glory. This is not a spiritual delay. This is a sacred transaction. And though it's happening behind the veil, it will not stay hidden forever. The fruit will appear. The shift will manifest. The doors will open. And those who thought you were finished will watch you rise, not in arrogance, but in anointing. So rest now, not in defeat, but in expectation. The God who never sleeps is handling what you cannot. And what is being exchanged in the Spirit will be revealed in your story. Type "I receive the exchange" in the comments if your soul feels this alignment. Blessing code 717 is sealing divine transactions over your life now. Now comes the moment when justice stands up and heaven balances the scales. For there are wounds you never spoke of, things done in secret that pierced your spirit, actions and words hidden behind smiles, and intentions cloaked in silence. You absorbed it all. You held it quietly, letting God be your witness while your heart broke in rooms no one could see. But God has seen. And now, the voice of heaven thunders softly, "Enough." What was done in darkness will not remain hidden. Not because you seek vengeance, but because God's character demands justice. There are whispers being exposed, motives being revealed, deeds returning to the surface. You may not have been strong enough to speak it then, but your silence became your courtroom. Every tear was your testimony. Every sleepless night was your offering. Every moment you resisted revenge, you empowered the hand of heaven to move on your behalf. And now, it is moving. Justice is not always loud. It does not always arrive with thunder. Sometimes it arrives as restoration. Sometimes it shows up in how God elevates you without needing to drag them down. Sometimes divine reversal doesn't just mean they fall. It means you rise. It means you walk into places they said you'd never enter. It means you carry peace they tried to steal. It means you laugh again, not because they apologized, but because God restored your soul. Heaven keeps receipts. Every pain you buried, every sacrifice you made, every time you honored someone who dishonored you, every moment you stayed loyal when you were being lied to. It has all been written, not in the memory of men, but in the scrolls of eternity. And God did not forget. His justice is not delayed. It is strategic. He had been waiting for the perfect hour, and this is it. This is the season when vindication begins. It won't always come the way you expect, but it will come, because God is not mocked. What was sown in deceit will reap exposure. What was planted in manipulation will be uprooted. And what was lost in your hands will return multiplied in His. That's what makes divine reversal so powerful. It doesn't just fix what was broken. He flips it. What tried to bury you becomes the ground you stand on. What tried to ruin your name becomes the reason God honors it. There will be a reversal. In your emotions, in your clarity, in your identity, in your relationships, in your opportunities, and yes, in your peace. You are not walking into a recovery season. You are walking into a redemptive one. God is not just making it right. He is making it beautiful. Watch how tables turn. Watch how those who walked away will witness your rise, not in bitterness but in grace. Because this is how heaven displays power, not by your anger, but by your anointing. The same ones who misjudge you will have to admit they missed God's hand on you. The same ones who betrayed you will watch you be blessed in ways they cannot block. And when they look, they will not see a wounded version of you. They will see a healed, holy, whole version crowned by justice. You do not have to chase closure. You do not have to fight for exposure. You do not have to prove what you went through. Heaven is doing it for you. Type God is my justice in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 8844 is releasing divine reversals into your life now. Now breathe, child of God. Breathe in the truth that has wrapped itself around your spirit. Breathe in the comfort of knowing that this word, this entire heavenly message, was never late, never accidental, never random. It was delivered in the divine stillness of your breaking point, because heaven saw your soul bending beneath the weight of silent sorrow. You were never overlooked. You were never abandoned. You were precisely timed for this moment. This message was not sent to warn you of loss. It was sent to awaken your purpose. The tears, the ache, the spiritual unease, that was never punishment. It was preparation. Because heaven could not allow you to stay asleep in a situation that was beneath your calling. The distance, the silence, the disruption, all of it was a divine interruption to reroute you from emotional captivity into spiritual destiny. You see it now, don't you? That what you feared losing was not the foundation of your future. That the one you held so tightly was not the key to your peace. That the silence between you was heaven's whisper to begin again, with God at the center. The departure you thought would destroy you was the doorway into deliverance. Now, beloved, lift your eyes. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. You are no longer the version of yourself that wept in confusion. You are not the same person who begged for answers, who fought for validation, who tried to hold together something that heaven had already released. You are wiser now, sharper in spirit, stronger in soul, and the grace upon you is greater than what walked away from you. The Spirit of the living God speaks over you now. I go before you. I make every crooked place straight. I open doors no man can shut. I will restore what the locust tried to devour. I will lift you in the presence of your enemies, and I will never leave you. This is your final confirmation. This is your closing instruction. Move forward. No longer mourning what left. No longer rehearsing what hurt. No longer doubting your value. What is ahead of you hath been waiting for the healed version of you to arrive. And now, you are here. May peace flood your spirit like rivers that have broken through the dam. May divine love rebuild every cracked place in your heart. May your nights be filled with rest, not regret. And may your voice echo heaven's decree, I am not who left. I am who God is raising. You are rising in purpose, walking in clarity, crowned in righteousness, and wrapped in the whispers of a God who chose you. Before the goodbye, before the heartbreak, before the silence, you are no longer just surviving. You are becoming the prophecy fulfilled. Type I am walking in purpose in the comments if this blessing seals your spirit. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding your future with divine certainty. If this final word touched your spirit, don't let the oil stop flowing here. Heaven moved for you today, and through your giving, that same move of God can reach someone else still lost in heartbreak. The harvest you felt in this message was born through the generosity of others who gave so this word could reach you. And now, you have the same divine opportunity. God says, "Those who sow into my word will reap my reward." As you give through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or a PayPal donation link in the video description, you're not funding a message, you're fueling a movement. You're unlocking breakthroughs in homes, healing in minds, and revival in hearts. This is your chance to step into prophetic alignment and bless what has blessed you. Don't hesitate. Heaven is watching how you respond to the word you just received. Give boldly, give prophetically, and watch the windows of heaven open over your life in return.